this.
Yeah. Texting. We are live.
Early.
Welcome back. Early edition.
9:30 on the dot.
Actually, we're on time. This never happens.
Maybe right.
Welcome back to the SEG on a Wet My Whistle Wednesday. That is the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo, question one, Audrey Miliaccio, segment one, all things NBA, both the Celtics and the Knicks.
Can I just say something before we begin?
Of course.
Shout out to the lighting crew.
Lighting crews, yeah. See,
the highly questionable one. That is the lighting crew.
that is the lighting crew.
You'll notice that
Tom's not doing this.
Yeah, right. We're not staring into the center of the
Tom's not
sun.
blinking at it a lot rate.
So we've got a different angle for the light. It seems to be projecting us better. We're not as flushed.
Not as flushed. Definitely not as flushed.
So I digress. Continue.
No, well, what
Celtics
I was saying was the Celtics and the Knicks both had, again, impressive wins in different ways and for different reasons, to be sure. The Celtics were coming off a back-to-back playing two young teams, and they won in different ways. The first one they had, which was the Pelicans, they had to fight and claw and come back and win. And then last night they ran into the highest scoring offense in the league, and they held them they outscored them basically because they didn't really stop them until the end. Now the thing was, it shouldn't have come to that again, but Boston being Boston, why do it easy?
No.
Why make it easy when you can make it rough? They were up 20. And this is the funny part. Halliburton, who's the all-star point guard, this guy's amazing, was coming off an injury, so they had him on a time management thing. So it was his first game back, so they had him playing about 22 to 24 minutes. So he played the entire first half. They lock him down. He's 5 of 16. The only thing he did was he hit like a 40-footer at the buzzer, which brought the lead like down to 18. So Boston
in the first half.
So at halftime, Boston, and by the way, Boston hung 81 on him in the first half. Now look, Indiana doesn't play defense, but 81 is 81. And then in the second half, after Halliburton goes out because he's on a minutes restriction, they come all the way back, they being Indiana, erase a 21-point deficit, take the lead, okay, towards the end of the third quarter.
Without Halliburton.
Without Halliburton. They were getting blown out with him, and without him,
best player.
They come back. Only the Boston Celtics can do this.
Actually, that's not true. A lot of freaking NBA teams.
Well, not a team this good shouldn't.
Well, there's no other team this good.
There's no other team as good as them. So, and it was back to back. So I get them maybe, but you go again. 43.
Who'd they have?
Porzingis played
Monday.
They had the Pelicans.
That's right, and they won that.
And
game
they came back and won without Porzingis and without Cornette. He played last night, had 17 and 12. Okay. He played 30 minutes, so he was solid. But again, and I like what they're doing with him because they're not letting him play back-to-backs because they understand that, look, they clearly are listening to this show and taking cues from him because he hasn't played one back-to-back all season, I don't think. No. And I don't think he's going to.
There's no real reason to.
There's no real reason to when you have the talent and the depth to overcome it because they're using their bench. Yeah. But he played last night. He played solid. By the way,
nice to watch the Knicks slap.
We're going to talk about this because, and normally we don't talk about the leggers, the fakers on this segment, the fake show, because that's what they are. But you know what? We're going to talk about them at some point tonight. But anyway, Boston gets the W, 129-124. Tatum has a great game, 37 and 7. Jaylen Brown gets another double-double. The whole starting five, that starting five is magical. I mean, Holiday 17, 5, and 3 steals. 24 points for Derek White, who better be an all-star. Derek White is just amazing. And he had the first of 2 great block shots at the end to seal the deal. For the tie, they got the ball in the corner. He rotates over on the help and throws it into the third row. Nice. Okay, then they get the inbounds pass. Tatum and Porzingis combined for a block at the rim, which seals the deal. So they finish them off 129-124. They take the season series 3-2, and all they were talking about, wow, what if these two met in the first round? Which could happen if Indiana slides to 9. I don't think Indiana's going to slide to 9.
They should be better than that.
They should be 6 or 5 at the 6th, the worst. At the worst, they should be 6th. Now again, the East is deep, and they, offensively speaking, they can hang with anybody. But again, if you can't stop anybody, at some point it's going to bite you in the ass.
And if somebody stops you,
if somebody stops you just enough, like Boston did last night, they can beat you.
Yeah, because they held them under 100.
94
to 90 something.
When?
Last night.
They beat them 129 to 124.
Geez, 120. I remember a 9 and a 4. It was not.
That was in the third
99.
quarter. That was the end of the third quarter. It was 94-93 Boston at the end of the third quarter. So I mean, and again, in the fourth quarter, they just traded shots. They were haymaker after haymaker after haymaker, and Boston made their former first-round draft pick Aaron Naismith look like an all-star. He is now starting for them. He's averaging double figures, and he had 26 and 12 last night. This is the guy that couldn't get off the Boston bench. Okay, so look, Indiana's.
Did they just let him go, or did they trade him?
They traded him to Indiana because he wasn't getting minutes.
Did they get anything good for him?
I don't know what they got for him. I don't remember because at the time he
Was
just
this like a
wasn't.
couple years
he wasn't
ago,
playing.
or?
It's a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They drafted him. Him and Peyton Pritchard were drafted together. So he was first. Pritchard was second. They had 2 first-round picks. Pritchard has panned out. This kid is still in the league doing well. So kudos to him. And sometimes with Janice Senior, he wasn't going to play over Tatum and Brown anyway. So I get why it happened.
It was a logjam.
It was a logjam. So I get why they did it. And he's flourished. Good for him.
Yeah.
So. Look, the Pacers are for real. I think Milwaukee will attest to this. Milwaukee doesn't want to see them.
Have they made a trade yet? Did the Pacers
They
add
added
somebody?
Siakam, who's
So he played last night?
yeah, and he played well. He had 22.
He's a defensive guy, isn't he?
He's an offensive guy.
So he doesn't defend? I thought he was a.
Nobody on that team defends.
I thought he was an Anunoby type.
No.
I guess I lumped him in because he was on Toronto.
Now, from an
with
offensive
OG.
perspective,
He's
he's
good.
an all-star. He's 20 and 10, really.
Okay.
So, but he defensively,
But
not-
he's just more of what they already were.
I would say he's an average defensive player. He's not.
He's long, right?
He's long. He's athletic, but he's not a stopper. He's not
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
He won't embarrass himself, but he's not the guy you're calling to lock somebody down either.
Yeah.
So, Boston outlasted Indiana in a back-to-back. They now await the fake show coming into Boston tomorrow night. We will delve into that in a minute, but we need to switch our attention to the hottest team in the league, the team that I believe right now is the second best team in the conference behind Boston.
Really?
And that is the New York Knicks. And I don't think I'm alone on that anymore because honestly, they had another impressive win last night. Jalen Brunson is now deservedly so in the MVP conversation, and he should be. He had 29 and 9. The Villanova connection is continuing to flourish. DiVincenzo, who he at one point was mocking, he's not mocking him anymore, boys and girls. 33 points on 9.
Was I mocking him?
You were mocking him.
How?
You were like this DiVincenzo. You were literally, this guy's not gonna.
Fuck you! I never.
Oh, we have it on this. You did it on the air.
mocked him like
on
that.
the air. Yeah,
I
you were
wanna
on
see
that. Well, what's really DiVincenzo? What they did that? He's kind of a that.
Well, I remember when they signed him in the summer. You know, in the off season.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like
It wasn't sexy.
a team changer.
Well,
You know, and honestly, the OG Anunoby trade didn't feel like yay. But man, the chemistry on this team is unmatched.
my favorite saying, it's not
Unmatched.
sexy, but it's got teeth. Okay? The New York Knicks may not be sexy, but they've got teeth.
got some legit
They've got
teeth.
some teeth. And they have not had Randolph for 2 games now. And they have looked very impressive in both of them. And again, we were talking 6-4, 7-3 best case scenario. I think that's very likely.
Well, 2-0 is a good start.
It's a good start.
They haven't hit the meat of it yet. Though.
No, they haven't. But the point is, they're doing what they're supposed to do,
No
and
doubt.
they're doing it convincingly.
Yeah.
And they've got a Villanova connection there. That there's 4 of them on the roster, and 3 of them are regular contributors now. So that's
Look at DiVincenzo's numbers from last night. 9 3-pointers. He was 9 of 15 from the
9
3-point
of
line.
15, America.
He was 11 for 22 from the 2-point. This guy might as well just shoot threes.
Well, apparently they have a 3-point shooter.
Yeah. So you had him going 11 of 22, 9 of 15 from the line, from the 3, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Brunson, like you said,
MVP candidate.
29 and 9 assists.
29 and 9.
3 rebounds to go in there, which is nice. Hartenstein, solid like he typically is. 14 points, 12 rebounds.
See, I love
2
this
steals,
kid. I
1
love
block.
this kid. He is a taller, to me, he reminds me, don't take this the wrong way, but he reminds me of Derek White, but a bigger version of him. What I mean by that is he complements that lineup very well.
Yeah.
And Derek White does that in Boston. He's just a bigger version of him. He's not as explosive as
he can't
Derek
score
White,
like Derek White.
but he does. He's a good rebounder. He's a good defender. He can give you some offense on the post. He has a mid-range jump shot. He's a solid offensive player.
He had 7 offensive rebounds last night.
Say he rebounds too. So
Yeah.
and he protects the rim. Listen, he's perfect for that lineup.
Yeah.
He complements what's around him. He doesn't get in the way of it. And that, to me, cohesiveness is a very underrated thing. Championship teams, cohesiveness is usually a common denominator in championship caliber teams. And when I'm saying that in the same sentence with his team, and he's not going to believe it, but I'm telling you right now, if I were to choose, well, who would you rather face in the conference finals, the Bucks or the Knicks? I would say the Bucks right now. I'd rather face the Bucks than the Knicks because they don't play any defense at all. And while offensively they probably can drop 130 on you, they can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
You can talk to you about this formidable offensive line that take Giannis out of it is aging by the day. Portis and Lopez are getting older, not faster. Okay? And Boston has a nice rotation at big man. Now, Mr. Perkins keeps saying how, well, what if, because he's in your camp, but, well, we haven't seen Porzingis do this yet. Well, he hasn't been on a team good enough to do it until now. And he's fitting in very well. He's been a perfect addition to what they need. He was perfect for them. So on both ends of the floor.
That was good GMing.
It was. And Brad Stevens knows his shit. I'm just saying that they've got the depth behind him. They found this kid from Nigeria, whatever his name is, this Keita guy, who last night was off the bench, was amazing. He comes in, he plays D, he rebounds, he runs the floor, he can run the screen and roll. He's a good passer. He hustles. He's the third guy. They've got Cornette, who's second, and they got three legit big men, Boston. Yeah. So Brad Stevens has filled this roster very nicely. They complement each other very well. And the Knicks have done a very similar thing.
Dude, let me give you some other numbers from last night. Josh Hart.
Yeah, another Villanova.
Who since the Obi Anunoby trade.
OG.
I said Obi. Obi-Wan Kenobi, OG Anunoby. Kind of the same thing. Yeah. Say that 10 times fast. So Josh Hart, 10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds.
Had triple-double. I know you talked about
I mean, that's, and 2 steals and 2 blocks.
Yeah.
The Knicks had, this is one of the craziest stats. Okay. The Knicks had...
And this is the Jazz, who's a pretty solid team. They did this to without Randall.
Yeah, the Jazz...
Randall, they did this to the Jazz.
The Jazz have been playing well.
Yeah.
So the Knicks had 9 steals as a team, 7 blocks as a team. Guess how many turnovers they had?
Less than 10.
5. 5 turnovers. That's amazing.
I'm telling you, the Knicks are
that. And Precious Achiuwa, who is one guy that I kind of was always named Precious and kind of, he's a throwaway part of this trade.
He is
now
not.
That Randall's gone,
he's not.
You can play Hartenstein at the center. And Thibodeau was talking about this. They had only really seen Achiuwa, who a guy on TikTok was calling him Chewy last night. And I like that name. Chewy. They had really only see him play center in Toronto. They had him at power forward last night. 18 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, 18 points from a guy you expected nothing from? That's all. You can't ask for more than that.
The Knicks have depth. They have cohesiveness. They have, dare I say, chemistry. They also play defense now.
Yeah, they do.
Anyone with a brain, anybody who knows basketball will tell you they are currently the second best team in the East. Anybody with a brain who's watched them, Milwaukee and Boston, right now would go Boston, New York, Milwaukee in that.
From the line, they were 17 for 18 last night.
You're just making
what the fuck?
Fundamentals, young players.
It's crazy, though, that...
It's not crazy. It's happened before.
It's just funny that, you bring in a guy, you take away a couple, and things just start matching up.
Again.
Falling into place.
The people who made this decision were looking for a specific thing. They said, look, because no one questioned that the Knicks had talent. No one questioned they couldn't score. There were other questions. They couldn't play any defense. Did these 3 really fit well together? Cohesiveness. All of this stuff was being questioned. They addressed all of the latter with this trade.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Not only did they lose nothing, they gained a ton. Yeah. So kudos to whoever the GM is. For New York,
Leon Rose,
because he knew what he was looking at, and I'm sure Thibodeau was in his ear because Thibodeau's been a part of a championship team as a coach, and he knows what cohesiveness and chemistry and defense. He was the defensive architect of the 08 Celtics, who I keep saying are the best defensive team I've seen in the last 25 years. He was the architect of it. And this team, from those 3 perspectives, they look a lot like that one. Now, there's no Kevin Garnett out there and Ray Allen running around, but there's talent. There's real legit talent on this team, and they have blended it with role players that fit the talent. And that's what you're seeing. They've won 8 in a row. Listen, last month, this is for you. I did some research myself today. Last month, the Knicks for the month were outscored by 44 points total. This month, they are outscoring their opponents by 246. This is 1 month later.
That's incredible.
That's the impact of this trade. That's utterly ridiculous. You can't do that in a video game, okay, what they are doing right now. So I'm telling you, they are a game and a half out of the 2 spot. Do not be surprised if they overcome Milwaukee and take it. Do not be surprised, because as much as I love Doc Rivers, Milwaukee has a personnel problem like the Knicks have, but Milwaukee has no way of fixing it. They have no way of fixing it.
Yeah, because, I mean,
none.
Who could you get rid of? Middleton?
You'd have to trade.
What are you going to get from Middleton?
To get something to help them. They'd have to give up something that helps them now.
Right.
Whether it's Portis for off the bench, or Middleton, to your point, or another wing player who can score, they'd have to give up something significant to get defensive help.
Right.
So it's a wash.
Yeah, and finding a trade partner for that.
And you got to find a dance partner on top of it, which is.
And Toronto was really the team with the pieces.
Toronto,
Siakam, OG.
Those moves have already been made.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing left in Toronto, really. There's
the Heat got Rozier.
Yep. There's not a lot out there.
No.
And
unless you're looking at like somebody from Chicago, who's out there? What's his name? Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine.
But he's not a defender either, right?
He's just another offense. And again, what would you have to give up to get him?
Yeah, and
at least Bobby Portis.
And can he mix with what's his face? Giannis.
Yeah. Does he complement those guys?
Yeah.
Or is he just another guy out there that needs the ball? I don't know. The problem is they've got more questions than answers, and I feel bad for Doc Rivers because he's not going to be able to solve all of this. He's just not. And I am telling you right now, Milwaukee better stay in that 2 spot, because if they lose it, they're in a world of trouble.
I mean, the only thing Doc can do, and this was something, I can't remember who brought it up, somebody on ESPN was talking about how Adrian Griffin couldn't hold the team accountable for defense. So, Doc being, he's much higher status than Adrian Griffin when it comes to coaching and just basketball in general.
Yeah.
If he can come in and actually, because they have legitimate athletes on that team who can play defense, don't they? I mean, Giannis can D up.
Every great defensive team has a point man.
If Giannis...
The Spurs, it was Tim Duncan. The Rockets, it was Olajuwon. The Bulls had Pippen and Jordan, and later Pippen, Jordan, and Rodman. The Celtics had Garnett, Tony Allen, and Posey on the. They have. There's nothing like this on this Milwaukee Buck. They had Drew Holiday, and he was their point man. Instead, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone. You sacrifice.
So
it's a wash.
It's almost like
it's a wash.
Well,
you traded offense for defense.
It's the opposite of what the Knicks did.
Yeah. It's the exact opposite.
They took their best defender, who probably really glued them together as a team.
Yep.
And said, "Hey, Boston, you guys want to be better?"
Actually, they sent him to Portland.
Oh, and then y'all got him.
We went and got him from Portland. And the second that went to Portland, I knew Brad Stevens was going to get on the phone, because Brad Stevens knew that the backcourt, when you're getting rid of Marcus Smart, there's only one way to upgrade for Marcus Smart, and that was Drew Holiday. And the second he became available, I got news for you. Brad Stevens saw that trade before it happened and said, "All right, well, if they do this, we're going after Holiday."
Well, don't you think Milwaukee had to know that when they did it?
No, they didn't. Milwaukee never for a second thought Boston would do this. They never thought, first of all, they never thought Boston would give up the assets they gave up to get him. But Boston gave up a guy who, until the Time Lord, who until he got hurt was up for Defensive Player of the Year, the big man. They never thought they'd part with him, because he was young, he was athletic, he was an anchor, and they underestimated. Again, Milwaukee's job isn't to watch Boston so much as do their own. But they don't know. They didn't know the defensive player that Porzingis was. They didn't look at him because they weren't looking at him. Mm-hmm. He is basically negated that on defense, because he plays defense, and offensively he gives them something that the Time Lord could never give them. So that was a win for the Celtics right there. But the Celtics knew that the missing piece, because they had Derek White, they're like, look at all these teams that are in their way. Denver, dominant guard. You've got to get guards to run at these guys. They've got the best defensive backcourt in the league. Mm-hmm. And come playoff time, you're going to see it. Now, they're in a marathon right now, and guys are going to take nights off and take play, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Holiday is 33. But they need Holiday just like they did Porzingis. They got him for
It's crazy that he's 33.
He's 33.
He doesn't move like he's 33.
No, he does not. But again, he plays under 30 minutes a night for Boston. So he played close to 40 minutes a night.
He's their starting.
Yeah, he starts.
He's their one?
Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, so they're giving him a lot of
Peyton
minutes.
Pritchard's playing 20 minutes a night.
That's good.
So,
Shit, if you can
and
have
he's-
this record and you get him that NBA experience.
But it's not just Pritchard. They're using Hauser. They're rotating. They move Jaylen Brown back over to 2. They have Tatum run the point. The Celtics are multi-dimensional. That's why they're so dangerous. Boston can beat you in a number of ways.
When the fuck are they going to get out of their own way? You're saying the only way is if they fire Mazzulla?
I don't want to see Mazzulla fired because I think he's made progress. They're still shooting 2 threes, but he's developed the bench, which last year he didn't. He's done some good things.
Right.
So I don't think you.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you talk about
they've
how
got the
they're
best record in
how
the
they're
league
moving
by
people
4. They're 4
around.
games in front of the second best team in the NBA right now, and they've had some brain farts along the way. They shouldn't have lost to Golden State at Golden State. They shouldn't have blown the lead at home against Denver. There's 4 or 5 games they shouldn't even have lost, but because of this shit they did, and they're still 37-11. So it's kind of hard for me to fire. They're in the top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency. They're the only team in the league that's there.
Yeah.
So how do I say fire the guy? And
I don't know.
he's
We were
developed.
having the conversation earlier. And
I'm
it seemed
saying
like
this is the
that
next.
was your mentality.
This is the next thing. He's got to get them over this because this is the only thing that can derail them and injuries.
Sure. but
If
no,
Boston
that's
stays
nobody's
healthy,
fault.
like I said in the preseason, it's theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose. They're either going to win it or they're going to lose it. No one's going to beat them. They're either going to beat themselves or injury's going to get in the way. That's going to be it. Because they are by far the most talented team in this league, and now they may be the deepest because he has developed this bench, okay? And he's confident. Peyton Pritchard, they were talking about getting rid of him. Now he's getting almost 20 minutes in there, and he comes in, he plays defense, he can shoot the 3, he's a great passer. He does everything you need him to do. Cornette, everyone was laughing at Cornette. Cornette's been a great backup to Porzingis. He plays defense. He rebounds. He runs the floor. And when they put him in the starting lineup, 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Okay. When Porzingis took a night off. Okay, so they've got depth. Then they find this 7-footer Keita, this kid from Nigeria. You should see this motherfucker. I don't know where the hell he came from, but he's fucking awesome. I'm like, where are they getting these guys?
Well, but see, that's the thing on a team like that. When you're one of those off players, dude, just fucking pay attention. Set picks, play defense, rebound, and you will get 15 to 20.
But as I said last year, what I blasted Mazzulla for last year was to develop this bench. You put them in there 2 at a time with some of the starters, and you get them minutes. Okay, and that's how you get. them
He
better.
blew it.
He blew it.
Sorry.
And sorry, but you get the minutes this year. That's what he's doing. Forget this for a minute.
I'm sorry, dude. This is a great fucking.
Of course it is. By the way, while we're talking to you, he's winning out over number 10 Kentucky and Adani with Florida at Rupp Arena. I played there, by the way. I played there in the AU National Championships.
Nice.
Yeah. Amazing. The name's up there.
Dude, that was a
sick move.
Dude, they ripped the ball from. Oh, and he airballed it where
Did
it
he
got
airball
blocked.
You get a piece of it?
Maybe.
I think he got,
Yeah,
he
he
got a
did.
piece of it.
It's not spinning.
Yeah, he got a piece of it. Good defense.
Yeah.
Kind of what Derek White did last night to Indiana.
Pump fake would have
sent him. Yeah, he was in the parachute club.
He would have been in the third row.
Don't tell me that's Jeff Shepard's kid. There's Calipari, Daddy Cash. Anyway,
Daddy Cash.
That was his nickname, Daddy Cash. Anyway, but the
Dude,
Celtics.
Suns and the Nets are in a Donnie. Nets have been playing tough lately.
The Nets are well coached.
Yeah, but they've had a pretty bad season.
The point is this:
Undermanned,
what
I guess.
Mazzulla's done this year with this team is what I was yelling at him to do last year. He's playing the bench with the starters, getting the minutes, and it's, by the way, it's gaining their confidence. They have cohesiveness, they have confidence, chemistry, all that stuff, and they're playing better. To his point. But I was saying this last year. Why isn't he play Hauser and Pritchard with the starters? Play Hauser and this big guy with the starters and blend them in. That's how you have a rotation. He's doing it this year. And I'll tell you why he's doing it. Sam Cassell, who they hired, and Jeff Van Gundy, who's an advisor. Who do you think got in his ear?
Is Van Gundy on the bench? Or is, 'cause I've
Sometimes
seen
yes,
Cassell.
sometimes no.
I've never seen Van Gundy. I've seen
Sometimes
Cassell.
yes, sometimes no. Sometimes he's in the box with Brad.
That's cool.
And they're talking, which I like because they've got a direct line of communication from Brad to them. To him, it's Van Gundy, which I love. There's a ton of experience there, and I love it. So if they don't
As much
see
as my dad always hated Van Gundy, he's a good
he
basketball
knows
guy.
he knows his shit.
And he's a defensive coach.
He's a defensive coach.
I mean, dude, anybody who coached the Knicks in the 90s, I mean, I guess it was only 2 fucking people, right?
It was Riley and then
it was Riley and Van Gundy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
those teams played fucking hard
They
defense.
played hard defense. They did. And
That was holding teams to 84 and
yeah,
shit.
they were football games.
Yeah.
They were smash mouth football games.
Great fucking games.
They were Donnies. I loved it because every possession was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
It was like watching the hockey playoffs.
not
Every
getting-
possession,
you're
was
not
like, oh
getting
my God.
anything
No,
easy.
it was literally like watching the Stanley Cup playoffs when the Knicks played the Heat. Every possession, you're like, oh my God, what the hell's going to happen? I don't know, but somebody's going to get hit.
Knicks Pacers when they had
Yep.
Antonio Davis and Dale Davis.
Yep. When Bird was coaching them in the late 90s, that squad, those 3-4 years, I mean,
those dudes were like tanks down low.
Jalen Rose, Travis Best.
You had 7-footer
Chris Mullen. Chris Mullen was on that team who could shoot. I mean,
Mullen was ancient.
They were loaded. Yeah, but he was still good. He was still averaging 17.
Was he?
Yeah. He was starting. It was him, Travis Best, Jalen Rose. I'm sorry, it was Reggie Miller.
Really? He was on that team?
It was Travis Best, Reggie Miller, him. Jalen Rose was the sixth man. And then the Davis brothers, they were a tough fucking team.
Yeah.
I mean, they were telling you right now. They took the Chicago. They were only one of two teams to take the Bulls to 7 games. The other one was the Knicks in '92. And that was an epic series. Yeah, that was an epic series.
Epically heartbreaking.
It was, but I'll tell you what, that was a great fucking series. And I got to tell you, that Knicks team I thought was better than the one that went to the finals in '94. I thought that team was better than the one that went in '94.
Probably.
I think it was. If they had beaten Chicago, that team would have won the championship.
They would poop their pants in front of Michael.
They took them 7 games. They didn't do a lot of pooping.
No, not 7th game they pooped.
But they got that. Nobody else took them 7.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the Pacer team 7 years later that somebody took them to 7. So that's something to be said about that. But anyway, the Celtics have that. The Knicks have this going on right now, and I don't think for a second it's a fluke. I think it has staying power. So to my thing is this. The Celtics have to keep doing what they're doing with Porzingis so he stays on a pitch count so he stays healthy. The Knicks just got to continue to develop that team that they have and here's the luxury. Because the Knicks are playing so well, they could take their time with Randle and bring him back. They don't got to rush him back.
No,
take their time.
This could turn out to be good for them because now they're starting to realize Precious Achiuwa can do other things than they thought. And more guys are going to get more minutes, which is as long as you don't go through a stretch where you lose 7 in a row.
I don't think that team
will. Which they shouldn't.
First of all, when you play defense like that, you're not losing 7 in a row.
And the crazy part is these last 2 have been without Randle and OG.
Yeah, OG's been out too.
Which is like,
I'm saying.
Or maybe was it the last 2?
It was the last 2. I think he played the other night.
Because when did they get hurt?
They both got hurt in the same game.
Right, and that was Saturday game.
Yep.
Then did they play Sunday night and then last night?
They played
I'm sorry,
Sunday.
I'm asking you like it's your team.
Sunday and last night. They played they had a day in between, I believe. I think it was Sunday afternoon they played. Or Saturday night. No, Saturday night they played.
But that was the game they got hurt. So I'm trying to think, maybe
it was Monday,
were there
Tuesday.
2 or was it Saturday and then last night?
I don't know.
I feel like they played 2.
They might have been back to back. Because they may have had Sunday off and then gone back to back. That's a lot, 3 and 4 days.
Let me see. I'm sorry.
If that's what happened.
So it was, because they played the Hornets Monday.
Yeah.
So they played Saturday, that's when they got hurt. Then they played the Hornets and the Jazz without Randle and Anobi. Yeah. And won both.
Yeah, convincingly.
Right. So I'm trying to temper my expectations because they got a little bit of a rough stretch where they see the Pacers twice, the Mavericks, the Lakers. But those aren't games that are unwinnable by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all.
They see the Sixers, then the Celtics.
And with their stretch.
Those will be tough.
And again, we don't know how tough
Magic.
we don't know the situation with Joel Embiid. Who left the game last night. I watched that game wire to wire, and that dude looked like he shouldn't have been playing.
The whole time?
The whole time. He had a season low 14 points. He had 8 turnovers. The man shouldn't have been out there. But because of all the heat he took in Denver, to his credit, he tried to play. Worst thing he could have done.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is one hit, and it happened in the fourth quarter when after a loose ball, he went to the floor. The kid for Denver, Kuminga, is
Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors. He dives to the floor, lands on his leg, hyperextends the same knee, and he limps off the floor. Now, if I'm Philly, and we'll get into this whole, he wanted to bring it up, this whole 65-game thing.
Because I saw Draymond talking about it on his podcast.
Look, we'll get into that later, but the bottom line is this. If I'm Philly,
big free throws here.
I'm shutting him down until he's 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
because honestly, if Philly's healthy, they can be in the 6th spot and still get to the conference finals.
That's true.
They got to be healthy. If they're not healthy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they are.
If they don't have Embiid?
Yeah. If they don't have Embiid, they're not going anywhere.
No.
So I would sit him down until he's 100%.
Oh, he missed it.
Yep. Oh, shit.
Three-point game, 10 seconds left.
Fouled him
Florida
right
has the ball. Where's he going? You need a 3.
Right there.
We got it.
Got it off.
Oh, he got it! OT, bitch! Oh, they're going to go for it. 3 seconds, no timeout. Oh, God, he's dribbling into the air.
Oh, no!
Oh, my God, if that had went in. Florida hits a 3 to tie the game, 3 seconds left. Kentucky comes down, turns it over at half court, and Florida threw up a half court shot that was a couple feet off, but man.
As I said to my friend last night via text, the madness of March has begun.
It's basically February. Tomorrow's
February 1st. Why wait, America? Last night, just so you know, number 3 Carolina went down. Number 5 Tennessee went down. Number 15 Iowa State went down.
Number 100 VCU went down. They lost a 20-point lead to St. Bonaventure. Anytime you lose to a team,
were they at home too?
No, they were there. But anytime you lose to a team that his nickname is the Bonnies, God, that stings. And you had a 20-point lead. You made 10 3-pointers in the first half, and that's kind of what got you out to that lead. And then they clamped down on them. They were shooting all these threes at the end of the game when they should have been going to the basket. And
yeah,
that's
so. Anyway, which leads us to the last part of this segment. Boston hosts the Fake Show tomorrow night. If you haven't been monitoring the Fruads, and you probably haven't been because they've been irrelevant.
This is funny because you guys are playing a team and then we're playing a team.
Well, this is why I want to bring this up.
Because you played the Pacers, we got them Thursday. You played the Lakers, we got them Saturday.
With regard to the Fake Show, they were, of course, they're like the Cowboys of the NBA because even when they stink, they're news. So the question came up, can this Laker team make a run? And, of course, everybody with a brain was like, this team is toast. They're done. LeBron James put an Instagram post out there. It was simply an hourglass turned upside down, as in time is running out. I got news for you. Time has already run out. This team is done. Okay? And here's the thing. When I say they're done, they're not quite done yet. Key word is yet, America. Because starting with tomorrow night, these two teams have a chance to go splat and send them into a tailspin of the likes of which LeBron has never seen. So I am imploring both the Celtics and the Knicks to do me a solid.
You go ahead, implore the Celtics, then I will implore the Knicks.
Literally to take your size 13 and cram it right up LeBron's crack and send him into retirement. I am so sick of hearing about this guy. I'm so sick about him calling himself the greatest player ever. Who the fuck does that, by the way?
As a LeBron lover, I can admit that
that's awful.
Those parts about him,
those are awful.
Not
you
nice.
Don't say shit like that.
It's just corny.
They raise a banner for winning the in-season tournament, and LeBron's there's nothing like that. Give me LeBron, really.
I think
really,
if I was LeBron, I would have been like.
Really? If LeBron was who he thought he was, he would have never been okay with this. He'd have been like, that's not the one we're going after.
Like, isn't that... Couldn't you put, like, a plaque on one of the hallways for the in-season?
Maybe.
Or, like, a little trophy case for the...
With the fancy...
Yeah.
But leave it out of the... Don't stop
not
the game.
Rafters, not the
Don't
rafters.
grab... Who was the song? What was the song again?
It was terrible.
The music was...
It was some sort of instrumental, like,
If LeBron wasn't the narcissistic egomaniac that I've always said he was, he would have never let that happen. But the fact that he ate it up proved he's everything I said he was and more.
I disagree with that, but I agree that he should have intervened and said we're not doing
but
this.
He can't because he loves himself too much.
Maybe you're right.
He's the black Patino.
He's the black
Rick Pitino.
Patino's a douchebag.
He loves himself. It's all about Rick, just like it's all about LeBron.
Michael was all about himself.
Michael Jordan would never, ever have okayed that.
Right, but he's still all about himself.
No, he doesn't. Michael Jordan never said he was the greatest player ever. He never said it. He said, "Look, I could never make that statement because I never played against Bill Russell. I never played against these guys. I don't know. It's not fair for me to say that. That's disrespectful to him." That's what Michael Jordan said.
All right, he's still all about himself.
You can be all about yourself. Just don't say it. Let other people say it. When has Tom Brady ever said, "I'm the GOAT"?
No,
Never.
I'm
Never
not,
said
I'm
it.
not trying to
Saying.
defend him calling himself.
No, but you're trying to say Michael Jordan's just like LeBron. No, he is not.
I didn't say that. I said he was all. You said LeBron was all about himself.
He is.
I said so was Michael Jordan.
No, I think Michael Jordan is all about himself.
All
You
right.
know why? Because Michael Jordan won 6 rings carrying Steve Kerr and people like that around, too. You say about, well, LeBron carried all this garbage.
He also fucked up the Hornets for years because he didn't know what to do as a GM.
We're not talking about him as an owner. I'm talking about him as a player. How's LeBron the GM working out?
I mean, it hasn't been terrible.
Oh, really? Russell Westbrook?
Dude, he's got 4 championships out of it.
Boom! He didn't build those teams.
What do you mean?
Pat Riley built the fucking Heat, not LeBron James.
That shit wouldn't have been possible if LeBron didn't go there.
Dwayne Wade won a title before LeBron got there.
I know, but they couldn't do it after that. They needed LeBron.
They could have done it without him. They did it without him before.
But they couldn't. Why do you think they went and got him?
If they could do it without him before, why couldn't they do it without him if he never went there?
They didn't.
You think they couldn't have, you think if LeBron didn't go there, they still couldn't have won a title?
No, because
I
Bosh
disagree
wouldn't
with
have
that.
went there. They wouldn't have the big 3
They
down there.
won without Bosh and LeBron.
They weren't going to. They stunk before they got those.
They won a title before those two got there.
several years prior.
No, they won it and they beat Dirk in the final. Shaq and Dwayne Wade was the finals MVP.
What year was that?
06.
And when did they go?
2 years after that?
Wasn't it like 2010, 2011?
No, it was 3 years after that. It was 2009.
That's
09,
over 3
010.
years. They sucked.
They didn't suck. They're in the playoffs every year. What are you talking about? They sucked.
They sucked.
No, they didn't suck.
They weren't going to win a championship.
They won 50 games every fucking year. And you tell me they sucked?
They weren't going to win a championship.
Bullshit,
without
they
them.
weren't. That's not true at all. They could have found somebody
is
else.
that not
Are you
true?
telling me? So what if they didn't get LeBron? What if they got KD instead?
KD was over the hizzle.
Bullshit. He went to Golden State and hopped on the bandwagon and won 2. Why wouldn't you want to play with Dwayne Wade?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
Kevin
thinking-
Durant.
I was thinking of Kevin Garnett.
No, Kevin Durant. They could have gotten somebody else. LeBron's the only guy that can do this.
No. So if they had gotten the other greatest player in the world, yeah, they would have won.
I think they could have gotten anybody. What if Dirk Nowitzki left Dallas and went there? They could have gotten a bunch of players.
He was old.
He was.
He was. He was old.
The bottom line is this, okay?
Dirk wasn't going to leave
The bottom line
Dallas.
is LeBron didn't build the Miami Heat. Pat
Same
Riley-
way he didn't build the Lakers.
He didn't build Cleveland. When he
He
came
hasn't
back,
built
Cleveland,
any teams.
Cleveland had gotten Kevin Love and Kyrie, and then he came back.
No,
And then he
brought-
came
brought
back.
Love.
He didn't buy Love. Love was
He brought-
going there.
Love came in a trade halfway through the year.
Kyrie was
Once
already there.
I know.
LeBron didn't build that team. And LeBron didn't build. Well, LeBron did build this mess now.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
The GM did it at the fucking trade deadline last year.
I'm talking about before the trade deadline. That team was LeBron's team. Then Pelinka made those moves at the trade deadline.
Right, and
not
that was great. And now
Yeah.
that team isn't playing well. So who's that? That's on LeBron.
Who's the best player on that team? Who's the leader? Who's the captain?
No,
LeBron.
but we're talking about GMing right now.
Is Anthony Davis on that team?
Yeah.
Is he healthy?
I
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He is. Okay, Anthony, they've got 2 of the top 15 players in the world.
All right.
How are they?
This is the wrong argument.
Let me ask you this question: how are they 10 games below 500 on the road? LeBron James' teams have never been that bad. Never.
Not good.
Never. And Davis is playing well.
So
If he was injured, not playing, that'd be one thing.
We've gotten derailed.
We're not derailed. The point is, I want the Boston Celtics.
I want to implore the Knicks. May I?
Please do.
So while the Lakers seem pretty kind of low class right now in terms of tiers of teams right now, they seem like they're on the lower echelon, if you will. This is a chance for one of the biggest stars in the league to come into Madison Square Garden and the Garden not blow them for the entire 48 minutes of the game. Because for the last 20 years, that is what's happened at Madison Square Garden. Everybody comes in, and it's the Mecca, and they score 50, and the Knicks fans chant their fucking name. Fuck that, okay? That is not happening anymore. We actually have a good fucking team. So MSG show up and boo the fuck out of LeBron and the Lakers and the whole fake show. I'll jump on that. And that sets a tone for the rest of the season. Every time somebody comes in there, beat the fuck out of them in the stands and on the court. This is not a fun place for players to come play anymore, okay? Let's act like it and pound the Lakers.
Pound them.
Pound them.
Pound them in the ass. Pound them. Bend them over. Don't ask them if they'd
I
like
was thinking
lube.
more pound.
Bum
Pound them into the ground.
Bum
Pound.
blast them back to the left coast with their tail between their legs, unable to walk from the pounding in the ass, okay?
But do you know what I'm saying about how like MSG had become like this amusement park for like Steph Curry to drop 50?
It's why I've always hated your fan base. That would never happen.
Yes!
It would never happen in Boston. I used to always go, how do you call yourselves the Mecca when you're the first group of fans to kiss the other team's ass when a player comes in and drops 50 on your team? You start cheering for them, and you call yourselves the Mecca? No, I call yourselves the sellouts. Yeah. Give me a break, Knicks fans.
But I mean,
please.
but remember this.
And he turned around and told me how much you suffered. I'm like, well, it's kind of, you know why I don't? Because you guys are clapping for the opponent. What does he fucking know?
The reason that is, I believe, is that when you suck for so long, the true diehards stop wasting their because MSG is expensive to go to, even when they suck.
It's big ticket.
You know, so
it is.
I think people start to go, I'm not fucking coming into the city for this bullshit. No. You know, and then, I mean, some people are in this, but like, if they stink for 20 years.
But if I did go there, I wouldn't go there and cheer for the team.
No. But that's why people just go, oh, LeBron's coming into town. Let's go see the Knicks, you know. Awful. Fuck that.
They did it with Michael Jordan, too.
Go see the Knicks now.
Yeah.
But see, back in the day, Knicks fans hated Michael Jordan.
They should have.
Hated him.
He was a thorn in your side.
I still hate him to this day. And everybody goes, how can you hate Michael Jordan? Oh.
Same way I hated Magic Johnson.
Exactly. Be on the rival team of the guy that breaks your heart every fucking gym.
If Michael Jordan didn't exist, the Knicks probably go to 5 finals in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they probably win 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, you're probably
okay?
Right.
So if I'm a Knicks fan, I despise the ground that man walks on. It doesn't mean you know how great he is. You know how great he is, but you don't like him. You don't like him. Yeah. You respect him, but you don't like him.
Of course. I don't hate the person Michael Jordan.
No, you respect him as an athlete.
When I see him or hear, I think of all the times like
bad memories.
He just fucking dunked on the Knicks and went to the next round.
The greatest player, arguably in Knicks history, might be Patrick Ewing. He's one of them. And
he's my favorite athlete of all time.
And Michael Jordan ruined that.
Yeah.
Ruined it. And Patrick Ewing doesn't get enough credit because he couldn't get past Michael Jordan. Well, guess what? After Bird and Magic left, nobody got past Michael Jordan.
Right.
Bird and Magic were the ones that and Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boys. That's who did it. Mm-hmm. But once those teams aged out, that was it. There was no one left.
Nope.
So
Barkley couldn't do it.
The point is Boston
couldn't do it.
Boston and New York have a common enemy.
That's right.
For once. And it is the hope of this panel, okay, that over the next 46 hours, the Knicks get bum blasted not once.
The Lakers, not the Knicks.
I mean, the Lakers get bum blasted not once, but twice. I want to see LeBron's face Saturday night after a second 20-plus point drubbing. I want to see the look on his face after getting pounded in the ass twice in 48 hours. And see the look on that fucking fraud's face. I want to see it so fucking bad. I want to see the camera go, hey, LeBron, what do you do? Where do you go from here? And he just has to sit there and take it. Just fucking take it.
God,
and just
LeBron
sit there. Fucking
oozing out of your pores.
And have to sit there.
No.
And LeBron, how does it feel to be 12 games below 500 on the road for the first time in your career? I want to fucking see him answer that question. Bad.
Thunder beating the Nuggets by 3.
We're going to break for segment 2. Come back. NFL. Oh, we got some talking points, too. We're going to talk about this Patrick Mahomes Baltimore thing because this kicker looks like he overstepped his bounds a bit here.
Well, hang on. Before we leave basketball, I wanted to get your take on the whole game limits or, game requirements for the awards, the All-NBA, the MVP. You have to play at least 65 games.
I have absolutely positively no problem with it whatsoever. And I'll tell you why. Because they made their bed, now they have to lie in it. And here's why Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith and everybody else that helped build this game, Mike Wilbon, from the media to the players, the Michael Jordans blasted this generation for the fucking load management because they knew what was going to happen at the next bargaining agreement. Because at the end of the day, you're disrespecting the fans who are paying your salaries. You're disrespecting the networks who sign these billion-dollar TV contracts, which also pays your salaries, and you're choosing when you're going to play. And because of that, Joe Dumars had to make a decision that he didn't want to make, but you left him no choice. And now a guy like Joel Embiid, who's really legitimately hurt, is going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you fuck around. By the way, you know who made the argument for the old guard today of all fucking people? Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins was on this panel today, and he and Malika Andrews and her fucking uppity, this fucking, we are the fucking brightest light, we're the evolution, we're the this, we're the all about everybody has a voice, everybody cares. Malika Andrews, sit your pretty face down and shut the fuck up. Because honestly, Kendrick, I adore her. Listen, Kendrick Perkins put you in your place tonight, and this is who he used. Charles Barkley, career average per season. Shut that off. Career average per season.
I'm looking at games played for MVPs.
72 games a season, Charles Barkley. Magic Johnson, 76 games a season on average. Larry Bird, 77 games. Michael Jordan, 80. Karl Malone, 79. These are the guys who built this league. Check this out.
Karl Malone won the MVP in 1998-99, played 49 games.
Yeah.
Bill Walton won the MVP in 1977, played 58 games.
Yeah.
LeBron James won it in 2011, played 62.
Yeah.
So
3 times in 40 years. Wow.
No, not 3 times in 40 years. Bob Cousy won it in 1956, played 64 games.
They didn't play 82 games back then.
Bill Russell played 69 games.
They didn't play 82 games back then.
Okay, but still.
They didn't play 82 games.
So what?
That means if they played 70, he played 69.
But my point is this. To me, when you're voting for that award, you're already going to take that into account. If a guy missed half the season, to me, that's going to hurt his chances of winning.
That's just too bad. Because his peers didn't respect him enough. They took by the way, the money these guys are getting paid, Michael Jordan's average salary was $4 million a year for his career. He made all his money through Nike. That's a fact.
So I don't feel bad for him.
And he played 80 games.
Fucking billionaire.
Yeah, but he played 80 games a year. You know why? Not because he understood that there were people paying their hard money to come see him fucking play. And he understood where his bread was buttered.
Where his bread was buttered.
Yeah, his bread was buttered.
Not baked.
Baked, buttered, filleted, sautéed, parlayed.
So my thing is, I agree in principle that guys should play as many games as they can. But you're okay with the Celtics sitting Porzingis every 2-3 fucking days.
Porzingis, listen, he has a track record of getting hurt.
So does half the league.
No, not half the league.
Yes.
Not half the league.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes.
Not at all. It's called load management. They sit them down on purpose. They're not even fucking hurt. These guys fake injuries.
Just
they
like
fake
Porzingis.
diagnosis. You think Porzingis was faking these injuries? No.
You think the other guys were?
I think some of them were. You think Kyrie Irving was legit?
Kyrie Irving's an asshole.
He's not the only.
Don't bring up.
He's
that.
not the only
Don't
asshole.
bring up that.
He's part of the problem.
No.
He's part of the
Kyrie's
problem.
his own asshole.
He's part of the problem. He's part of the
management.
He's part of the reason this happened.
Greg
Popovich, part of the problem.
He's the one that started.
Part of the problem. And you know what?
Duncan.
And Tim Duncan won 5 rings. Tim Duncan can do what the fuck he wants, as far as I'm concerned. Because
It's
you know why?
a double standard.
No, it's not a double standard.
Yes,
Tim
it
Duncan
is.
shows up when it matters and wins. The guys you're talking
So
about
now if you show
don't.
up when it matters and wins, it's okay to sit whenever you want.
Tim Duncan.
But 2 minutes ago, it was
Tim
like,
Duncan,
people pay their hard-earned money. They come to
Tim
see
Duncan
play.
average.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
You can do whatever you want.
Give me your phone. Look up Tim Duncan's average games for his career per season. Look it up.
What do you think it is?
I know it's over 60. Average games per year for his career.
52.
No, it's not. Get the hell out of here. 52.
Let me see.
52.
35.
And that's counting the exhibition season.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty high. But so
It looks pretty high.
it does look pretty high.
I'm saying. He's not one of those dudes. Kevin Durant would play on one leg if they'd let him.
But like
there are guys that aren't like that.
2011, he played 58.
Yeah.
2012, 69. 2013, 74, 77, then 60 in his final season.
Yeah.
So, for the most part,
He's not that
you're
dude.
right. But then 04, 68, 05, 66, there must have been injuries in there.
He did get hurt
Because-
a lot. Embiid is legitimately hurt. I'm saying
Well, but
these
that's
guys
what-
are suffering because of this.
Right, but that's
It's
why
not-
it sucks, because you're forcing a guy who's injured to go, well, shit, I want to be up for these awards and try to play when he shouldn't play.
Look at this is why the guys like Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, all these other guys get blasted for this shit. Okay? Because you don't take into account your peers. And by the way, they never thought the NBA would do this. They never thought they would do this.
I mean,
but they did it because you know what? Let me tell you why. Because the people that are signing the checks are tired of your bullshit. We're paying you $60 million a year. Get your fucking ass on the court and do your job. You're playing a kid's game for a living. You're adored by millions of fans around the world. You're going to fart through silk for the rest of your life. Show up and do your fucking job. And by the way, that's why they're mad. And they have every reason to be mad because they're the ones shelling out the money. And if they're not getting a return on their investment, then they're going to be mad. That's how the world works.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say I don't disagree. First time ever.
Damn, it almost came out.
I didn't say it.
I almost got him.
No, so I actually
shake him, get him on the defensive.
I actually agree with putting the requirement on it. I don't like seeing a guy who's hurt trying to play through it for that. And
they knew.
And the team needs to manage that. If Joel Embiid is hurt, he should not be going, I'm okay. Your doctor can look at that knee, and if it's swollen, he's not playing.
He shouldn't have played.
He's your best fucking player.
If you watched that game last night, I felt bad for him. Because he was trying to play through it, and I'm like, this motherfucker shouldn't be out here right now. He's legitimately hurt.
I guess,
he is legitimately hurt.
My thing is, like, I figured when a guy misses 30 games, whoever's voting on these things anyway takes that into account.
Yeah.
Like I would, if I was voting All NBA or MVP, and one guy, and I'm trying to distinguish between two guys, and one guy played 78 games and one guy played 55.
The league, there weren't players that this wasn't a thing. It was enough of a thing.
Kentucky blowing it.
The number 10 team goes down. This is
on
the
their
fourth
home court.
This is the fourth top 15 team in 24 hours that's gone down.
With 10 seconds left, Kentucky was on up 3. They just lost by 4 in overtime.
Why wait till March for the madness, America? Why wait?
It's a hell of a game. I always root for Kentucky.
They're not going anywhere. They're going to have a shot. Florida's good. This isn't a nobody that did this.
I didn't say it was.
I mean, it's a good team they play.
I hate to see them get, accosted on their home court.
Well, look, the argument's always been Calipari's more of a recruiter than a coach anyway. Because if you look at the talent he's had, 1 national championship to show for it. He should have at least 3. From a talent, he should have at least 3. But he's not the coach. He's not the coach. He's the recruiter. He's not the coach.
Well, and now, it's hard to get guys to gel in one season.
It's impossible.
Yeah, but
it's impossible.
And that's basically what he always had. He's one season.
You know how he gets these kids? He goes, "I'll get you drafted in the first round," and they go to Kentucky.
You
never have to go to class.
That, though.
That's why he'll never be remembered. He'll never be remembered as one of the greats because he's a recruiter, not a coach.
He's already remembered as one of the greats.
No, he's not. No one considers him in the top 10 or in the top 15.
10 of college coaches?
He's not even close. I can name 10. Not even close.
How many wins does Cal have?
I don't know. He doesn't have 700. I can tell you that. Izzo got 700. Izzo got 700 last night, by the way. At Michigan.
The Gonzaga coach just got 700.
Yeah, early in the year he did. Yeah.
Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, he did.
He did.
He did. Yeah.
Let's see how many wins he has. Top 15, definitely. Come on.
Can't coach. How many times he's lost where he had the more talented team? Tonight's one example of many. How many times he's lost when he's had the more talented team? I wonder what the record is on that. How many times a guy can lose the more? How bad he holds it.
Listen up here, smart guy.
What?
As of January 27, 2024, with 805 wins. John Calipari ranks 13th on the NCAA division all-time winningest coaches list.
Nobody cares. Nobody
Again,
cares.
You changed the goalpost.
I'm not changing the goalpost.
Yes, you are. 2 seconds ago, you said he doesn't even have 700 wins.
Listen.
Now I tell you he's got 805, and you said it doesn't matter.
He has the most talent in the country every fucking year. My argument was he has 1 national championship.
No.
You're the one who moved the goalpost, not me.
No, I didn't move the goalpost.
Okay.
I said he should
have at least 3 national championships, probably 4 or 5 given that. You know why he has 800 wins? Because he has the most fucking talent every year. And then he fizzles out in March every fucking year.
So what?
So what?
Doesn't mean he's not one of the greats.
But no, it means he can recruit.
800 wins?
Bullshit.
800 wins.
Yeah, how many wins does Jim Boeheim have?
I don't know.
Over 1,000. No one puts him in their top 10.
Bullshit.
No one does. No one does.
Who?
No one. No, anybody that fucking knows basketball doesn't put him in the top 10.
Okay.
Because all he could do in the 80s was recruit. Remember that game he lost to Indiana when they had 4 first-round draft picks and Indiana didn't have 1 guy and they lost? Remember that one, 87 America? Yeah, great fucking coach. Yeah. Derek Coleman, fucking Sherman Douglas, and Stevie Thompson and Royce, and he fucking loses to Keith Smart in Indiana. Give me a fucking break with coaching. Shut the fuck up. Unbelievable.
Eat shit.
He ate shit, and so's he.
Okay, so...
And by the way, Calipari ate shit again tonight.
Here we go. Nobody puts Boeheim in his top 10 coaches.
Oh, who's this?
So,
Mike Greenberg?
Boom, I find a Bleacher Report.
Oh, Bleacher Report. Oh, well, Bleacher Report.
You said nobody.
They're nobody.
7, Boeheim.
Who's behind him? Whoa, back up. Who's behind him?
So I'm going to go. So he's got Wooden.
Yeah.
Knight.
Yeah.
Krzyzewski.
Krzyzewski's better than Knight.
Rupp.
Okay.
Dean Smith.
Yeah.
Jim Calhoun. Jim Boeheim.
There's no fucking way he's in
Lute
that
Olson.
class. Lute Olson's better than him. Lute Olson right there is
Eddie
better
Sutton.
than him. Eddie Sutton is better than
Jim
him.
Thielen. I don't know who that is.
Who did he coach? I forget. I've heard his name. I forget where he
Jim
coached.
Thielen. They'd be wise to do their research. Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah, but he was around for a long time.
Come on.
He's not better than Lute Olson. He's not better than those guys.
Let me try to find a more reputable.
He's not better than Don Chaney.
Don Chaney?
Yeah,
this fucking guy?
Not him. No, that's Jerry Tarkanian.
Who is John Chaney? Black guy, right?
Temple.
I always get him in the other. Where was Sarkisian? Was he at Fresno State or something? Or?
Tarkanian.
Sorry. Who's Sarkisian? He's another motherfucker.
He's not. By the way, neither one of them are better than Izzo either. Izzo's better than both of them.
Okay, here we go. Ranking top 10 college basketball coaches. Oh, this is just for 2023.
Oh, no, forget that. Hey, we'll have this.
This was in New England.
Yeah, don't listen to that.
I could pull up 100 lists, guarantee Boeheim's on all of them.
They're not doing their research. He's just, he has a lot of wins, therefore he must be there. No, that's not. That just means you can recruit. That's all it means. How does Calipari have 803 wins and 1 national championship when he's coaching Kentucky? Explain that to me. Because he doesn't coach. He recruits. Doesn't coach.
But that's part of it, right?
It's not the biggest part of it.
I know it's not the X and O part of it.
We just talked about how talented your Knicks were, but now they seem to have less talent, but they're a much better team.
And that's coaching? No,
it's
personnel.
But it's also coaching. You got to get them to play together.
Sure.
It's not just plug and play.
But it was for them.
Thibodeau is a good coach.
I agree.
He's a good coach.
I agree.
Okay, he was a good coach.
But there's no way his coaching just shot.
No, that's part. They work hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. But I would tell you, coaching's more important than talent.
Okay, that could be true. But to just discount his recruiting skills and who he gets
to
play for him.
If I gave you Calipari's starting 5 for just the last 10 years and just. Okay, tell me how many national championships they have. You'd be like, they got to have at least 4.
I can't argue with that.
No, actually they have 0 because Anthony Davis has been in the league 11 years. They've got 0. Okay, that's what I'm saying. He's not a great coach. He's a great recruiter. And by the way, how hard is it to? Hey, by the way, if you come with me, because we play in the SEC, I'll get you drafted in the first round because he's coaching Kentucky. It's amazing how Kentucky still has it because they haven't won a fucking title in 11 years.
Yeah, but they're always relevant.
No, actually they haven't been.
That's no longer a Donnie.
That's over. Anyway, we're going to break. Segment 2, NFL coming up. You know where I stand on the player thing. Look, Embiid doesn't deserve this, but his peers did it to him. Joe Dumars didn't have a choice. Because you know what? Joe Dumars has to answer to the guys that signed the checks, and the guys that signed the checks weren't happy with this. Because the fans paid $300 a ticket, and the fucking whole starting 5 decided to take the night off. No, and no. No, doesn't happen. So that's why it happened. And yes, there's going to be the one-off like Embiid who's going to pay for it. It's not fair, but they made their bed, they have to lie in it. And Mike Wilbon also echoed that because he thought Embiid, it sucks for Embiid because he's legitimately hurt. And guys like Kevin Durant would play basketball 365 days a year if you let him. He's a lifer. He loves it. Russell Westbrook never takes a night off.
Yeah.
There are guys like that. But they're the ones that are going to suffer because these dickheads like Kyrie Irving did this. And Kyrie wasn't alone. He was just the head of the snake. So in any event,
I think Popovich might have been the head of the snake.
He was a problem too. He was.
And now he's Mr. Jokester with the media.
No, he's irrelevant. He has Wimbayana and nobody cares.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad. But you know what? Made his bed.
How much longer do they give him down there?
They give him 3 years with him.
I'm actually shocked he stayed after Duncan retired.
They have nobody around him and they know it. He doesn't pick the players, so you can't fault him for that. He's got Wimbayana and a bunch of nobodies.
How has he been there that long and he has no input on the players?
I don't know. But they got Wimbayana. He coached Duncan. He coached Robinson. Robinson was a league MVP.
I wonder how much it hurt them when they had that big tiff with Kawhi and him not trusting their doctors and shit.
The doctors did that, not Popovich.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it was Pop, but
Pop paid for it though.
But I mean, I think Pop might have made a misstep or two in terms of communicating things to the press.
If Kawhi doesn't leave, I don't think they ever sink this low.
No way.
No way. Because Kawhi's a guy you build around.
Right.
I think that's where it went south.
Yeah, when he left, it was like they
And
never
he left in
recovered.
his prime.
Yeah.
He was in his prime when he left.
Dude, he went and won
a world championship.
in Toronto?
In Toronto.
That's
how good he was.
That's major.
Look at him this year with the Clippers now that he's healthy. They're a legit contender.
Whenever you see him playing fully healthy, it's like, wow,
yeah,
who
he's
is
legit.
that?
He's legit. So, anyway, we'll come back. Segment 2, NFL. Jerry Jones. We got to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm curious to find out.
We're gonna find Yoda, Joe, Boo, and Betty, and then we're gonna talk about this. See you on the other side.